Welcome back to Bobble Pod, everyone. It's the third episode of video series, and I'm Anush Mnatsakanyan, CEO of BurnWe.
I'm Claire Daniels, CEO of Trio Media.
I'm Manni, Singh, CEO of Bobble Digital.
And in this episode, we are going to cover how to get started with video marketing, everything about hows. And I want to get started immediately about several points before I will also give a chance to my colleagues to share their knowledge about how to do implementation of the video. So first of all, let me say, if you are getting started with strategy planning, you need to understand your goals. For that, first thing, you need to understand which goals you can have, because the goals can be shared into three, let's say, main parts. We say the awareness goals, we say consideration and decision goals. So first of all, you need to understand your videos will cover which of these big parts. Are there for attracting new customers? Are there for engaging new audience? Or are there for consideration for selling your products? And one thing to know is you can't directly start selling your products if you haven't started engage and attract your audience yet. So for this, make sure you are creating right goals for your audience and then create the right target for your audience. And the rest will be with the distribution, how to measure your success, how to create the right budgeting for your success, and even like when to post your videos. Everything is so important. I would actually really want to ask Manni about how to use video as part of your wider digital marketing channels for Facebook, YouTube, and mobile apps, because only creation is not enough. You also need to know how to get shared your videos, how to get that reaction from your audience.
I guess if you're a business, then that's why that relationship, and I think our relationship as three CEOs works extremely well because of not just the overlap, but the individuality of each agency. So like with yourself, Anush, it's, that whole strategy session, because if a client comes up to us saying we want to do a social campaign, the first thing we said is you need video content, because we know that the video content across YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the different types of formats are going to be key. But when you look at it part of your wider digital marketing strategy, it's the video specifications. So it's like, we'll need video on your website, which will come to web agency and how they optimize and create that landing page and all the information. But then it's the short video that gives them almost like a teaser, a small call to action to go to the website to get more information. But then it's working with, the video agency production to say, right, we need a 2-minute video on the website. We need all these 10, 15-second and 30-second videos to go across all these different platforms to get them to what's the full 2-minute video, to get them to through that whole user journey. Because when you consider that, using video as part of your wider channels like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, it's getting your consumers' attention as in many ways possible. And there's so many ad formats out there. So we consider mobile. When you go onto particular websites now, a lot of the display ads are very, HTML5 or video or animated focused. When you're on particular websites, particular landing pages have video and in-stream video ad and content on. If you're on YouTube, you will get 1 to 2 short pre-roll ads, then you'll get in-stream ads. If you're on the new shorts we've already talked about, you'll get ads in between. If you're on Instagram, in your feed, in stories, on Facebook, anywhere you go where you're consuming video content online, there is some kind of video ad placement. So it's really, really important, because we know, and I shared some stats in the last part 2 of, the type of video and how much video has been consumed by users. Your consumers are using video. So when you're going out and saying we want to do a video campaign across Facebook to target, young mums for a baby product, for example, then explain the product in a short video and then drive them to your website or your e-commerce site in that way.
I think as well, what's something to think about is there's that vast, there's such a difference in the types of video content that can be created for different channels. As a digital marketing agency, we've ended up creating video because it now just needs to be part of an SEO strategy, a PPC strategy, a social media. You know, we're not a video production company, but actually we do have a full-time person in-house now that produces video, because it's just the way the market's gone. But there's still such a variety up to this scale that actually then BurnWe, you know, the type of content that you're producing for people. And so I think, you know, when we're looking at the how to get started, it really does come down to, you know, going back to those goals that we discussed. Well, what is the goal? Then you can start looking at, therefore, what type of video do I need to create? What channels do I need to use? Actually, yes, something quite low budget is fine because it's going to be used just on social media. So that's fine for me. Whereas actually, if you want something that's going to be on a website that gets high volumes of traffic and it needs to be very engaging, it needs to work for a specific purpose, that's when you're more likely to engage with a proper video production company who can storyboard the ideas and pull all the different elements together to get you started. I think as well, we mentioned earlier about, in a previous episode, user-generated content. You said about it, Manni. And I think just as a reminder that is an avenue for video as well. If you don't feel confident producing video yourself, do you have a customer base who could produce video for you that you can then use to promote your brand or service? You know, could you engage with influencers who can promote your brand or service? So a lot of video content I consume from brands is actually via a third party, because I've seen it on someone's Instagram or someone's YouTube channel where they're promoting another brand, and that's led me to want to know more about that brand through video content someone else has produced. So when we start looking at that how, there really are so many different ways that you can look to get started, and it's going to come down to, well, who's your target audience? And, you know, where are you going to engage with them, speak to them? Where do they spend their time? And therefore, what type of video content is then going to be most suitable for them?
So we can, let's say, for sure say, for a successful video, we need a strategy. We need a great implementation by understanding the production how-tos and understanding the trends, the goals, and what the video actually need to be, and actually how to implement, how to share those videos online. So it's kind of a combination of these three to get that successful video. It's not just the one of them. And if we just say from the how-to points, sometimes the how-to is not only the creation of goals and strategy, understanding like which video do you need, but also understanding of how to create that video and what would be in that video, how to structure that video, how to start the video, how to talk in a middle part, how to end. Because, for example, if you know everything, like you know your goals, you understand like how to create a video, but you never include, for example, a call to action at the end of the video, you're losing everything that you have done for it. So in a part of how to journey, always start exploring and understanding how to create a video in general. For example, the 3 to 5 seconds of your video is the very beginning of your video is so important to grab the client's attention. If you lose that momentum, you can lose a lot of customers. Understanding also that the storytelling is part of your video. If you don't tell a story in each of your videos, you again will lose the customers. So always start exploring and understanding also the creation of the videos, understanding all the trends that are actually in this world and what the latest tools that people use to create their videos, and create based on them. I talked about the strategy and the implementation part, but I would love to hear about the execution, let's say, process, about how to share your videos online to get that results. I would love Claire to talk about how to get your videos seen by the others, because it's something that digital marketers will tell better.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned one word that stood out to me, which was trends. And, you know, even just going back a second, diving into the strategy, at the strategy phase, we need to be thinking about how to get it seen by others and who are these people that you want to see it. Because actually, if you're at the awareness stage, you talked about the awareness, consideration, decision, different stages of the journey. If you're at awareness, then it might be all about views. The most important thing to us right now is to just get our brand in front of as many people as possible. And therefore, actually, we may encourage people more to get on board with trends. So this is something that's really important with particularly TikTok, Instagram, YouTube type content, is to tap into the type of content other people are creating. We've been doing some brainstorming for some brands that we're working with, and it can sometimes be a bit of a difficult conversation to say, we're not going to come up with a unique idea for you. Actually, we're going to encourage you to do what everyone else is doing, but putting their own spin on it, but by jumping on something that is trending. So it's a bit of a new way of thinking, because normally, advertising, creative is all about doing something unique. Whereas if you do something that no one else is doing and it's not using a trending sound or any type of trend that the people are watching, that actually decreases the chance of it being seen. So certainly in the early days when we're talking about getting seen on social, we need to look at what other people are doing and what people are succeeding with, and then put your own spin on that. Once we've created content around that can be trending and looking at what people are going to see, we can then look at how do we get it out in front of people as well. And with us, when we're thinking about our video content, we're always looking at how can we make this go as far as possible. So for example, if we create a TikTok, there are tools that you can take the TikTok watermark off, so you can then share it on Instagram, because Instagram doesn't like you sharing a TikTok with the TikTok branding on their platform. So you have to separately strip that branding off and share it on Instagram. We're then taking that and putting it on YouTube Shorts. We then go and take that and say, can we put this into a longer form YouTube video? For example, on our website, we've got a page about TikTok marketing. So we need a YouTube style iframe to sit on that page, but we're covering in that YouTube video our different types of TikTok content. So really just leveraging as much as you can, getting that video content to work for you and getting it out in as many places as possible. And then obviously, if you really want people to see it, you can go to that extra extent of boosting it, getting it seen on social media through ads, on YouTube through ads, to really ensure that you're getting it in front of as many people as possible.
So whatever you just shared, we call that creating a micro content from your actual content, because we all know that video marketing is just not one-time project. It's everyday project, and you need a lot of videos to create. So sometimes even to trick that, we can create from one video, several videos, and share for different channels. So you can be active everywhere, but at the same time, your videos can be different for each of the channels, and you can get like separate audiences for each of your channels, and the results will be seen even quicker. So yeah, totally from that point of view, I agree to have a lot of content everywhere.
Amazing.
Maybe just to sum up overall the how-to process is creation of a video. We said a lot of time that it's very important, and how to do that is maybe difficult concerning the video type, because you need to do some researches to understand how to do that. But as Claire said, there are always best practices. You can always see what people doing and getting results, and try to, at least in the beginning, try to understand and sometimes copy them. But later you will see results, and you will get more experience, and you will create more content. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I hope you loved this episode, and you will subscribe to our channels to watch our upcoming episodes. Thanks Claire and Manni for this wonderful episode, and we will see each other next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.